We're here at the Wider Wallace Center, 2419 Baldwick Road, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15205. Our phone number 412-922-WELL or 412-922-9355. Our website is drwiner.com, drweiner.com. You can sign up for an email newsletter and get all kinds of free information. Also, we're on Facebook at facebook.com, Weiner Wellness Center, as well as James Weiner. It is my distinct privilege and high honor to introduce a good friend of mine of many, many years. This man is internationally known. I know that recently there was a Pennsylvania Dental Convention, and my colleague and partner of Nutritional Frontiers, Jamie Dorley, was there, and he says, you know, Dr. Werin is the king of dentists. All these dentists come up, and they're so privileged to talk to him, and he's a very humble, nice guy. You wouldn't know that he's world famous. He's an inventor. He's had his picture on the cover of professional dental magazines nationwide. He's also still a practicing dentist here in Pittsburgh. I highly recommend him. He's my personal dentist, and you know I would only go to the best. And we realized that some of the dental products can create serious problems. And so we got together last year and we invented a new mouth rinse, and that's part of what he's going to talk about today, as well as general dental health. And dentistry has a lot to do with your health. If you have problems in your mouth, it can create heart conditions, cancer, all kinds of serious problems. So it's something to really address. And I find a lot of my patients who have gone to Dr. Werin had undiagnosed problems that their dentist had missed. So I'm always happy to refer patients to him because he finds things that are serious problems that the other dentists may have overlooked. So this is my good friend, Dr. Rand Werin. He's located at 3503 Fifth Avenue, correct? 412 621-0200. 412-621-0200. Let me get you attached. And
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I'd like to compliment all of you that come out on a Thursday afternoon to this lecture, because obviously there's a lot of things you can do in your life, but there's an expression, your health is your wealth. So whatever else you're doing is probably not as valuable as paying attention to your health and trying to be as vital for as many years as you can. And I'm not an expert on all aspects of health, but I think I'm a pretty good expert on dental and oral health because I've spent my entire life, my adult life, in dentistry. So I've seen a lot. Every day that I work in the dental office, which used to be 5.5 days, but I've cut back, I've devoted my attention to paying attention to what's going on in people's health. And as Dr. Weiner mentioned, your mouth and your oral cavity is attached to the rest of your body. So the same infection, the same bloodstream that goes to a tooth, that goes to a molar in the back of your mouth, which you can hardly see because it's dark back there, and the same area where germs, which love to grow in warm, dark, moist environment, and especially if you put sugar around it, they really like to grow, they get into the rest of your body. Unfortunately, in the United States, there's dentistry and there's physicians, dentists, physicians, and they're sort of separated. But they're really not. It's just that a dentist is a physician of the oral cavity, that's all. Because the rest of the body is all connected. I have to smile right now because Chuck's. There we go, thanks, Chuck. That's going to go on Facebook, so you never know who's going to see that. But anyway, where were we? I could tell my favorite joke at this juncture, which is Dr. Weiner saw me and he said, "You're looking good today." And I said, "You're right. There's 3 stages of life: youth, middle age, and you're looking good." So that's where we are. All right, so I wasn't going to start here, but it doesn't matter. I can go anywhere. A long time ago, like 5 years ago, I was concerned about Listerine. Where is it? Right here. The number one mouthwash in the United States, probably in the world, because Professor Lister in 1890 discovered that germs were bad, and he figured that alcohol and a few other things would kill it. So it started in England, Listerine kind of mouthwash, and it came to the United States. And if you notice the national news, they advertise it. So they make a lot of money on Listerine. It's been around for a long time. But the journal and the Australian Dental Journal did some research, and they found that if you use too much alcohol in your mouth, it'll raise the incidence of oral cancer in a person. And I always felt that when I rinsed out with Listerine, my mouth would burn, like I could only handle it for about 20 seconds, and then I had to spit it out because my mouth hurt so much.
We always thought that was a good thing.
Yeah, I always thought that was a good thing. If it hurts, it's got to be good. That's got to be good. No, but, now I try to listen to my body. My body talks to me sometimes. It tells me when things are not right. Like I used to play basketball a lot, and then my knees started bothering me. And now I ease up on that a little bit. I don't do the things I used to do because it can pull muscles. So you got to listen to your body. But anyway, in Australia, these researchers, these scientists did this study, and once I read that, I stopped recommending Listerine. I didn't even realize how much alcohol was in it. A beer has 5%. That's not too much, but it's alcohol. This has 26, 24, depending on the concentration of alcohol.
Why don't you have to buy it in a liquor store?
Well, they also put chemicals in here, so if you drink it, it'll make you sick because it's toxic, which is an interesting point because if you swish it around your mouth and it gets under your tongue, if you actually are getting it in your body. So they put these things in to make you sick. So I stopped that, and most dentists in America now do not recommend Listerine. They recommend alcohol-free. So I started in my office, especially since the Crest representative came by and said, we're going to make you a deal you can't refuse, which they did. And we started using this, and it says alcohol-free. But you have good vision, don't you?
Uh-huh.
All right. Where it says warning, read that to everybody.
Let's see. Warning, keep out of reach of children. If more than used for rinsing is accidentally swallowed, get medical help or contact the Poison Control Center right away.
Oh my God.
Now, I'm not making this stuff up, am I? This is a neutral guy. I don't even know his name. Bob. Contact the Poison Control Center right away. So I just mentioned that, like when you ingest anything in your mouth, under your tongue, like nitroglycerin, everybody's familiar with that. Where do you put it? You put it under your tongue. Why? Because under your tongue, the skin is very, very thin, and there's veins there, and things can get into your body under your tongue. So if you're supposed to go to a Poison Control Center right away with this stuff getting in your body, it's getting in your body. Guess what? But that's not the worst of it. There's other things in here. Most people don't read the small print. You know why? Because it's so small, you can barely read it. So I'll just read it to you. If you want to come up and try to read it, you can. So I'll go backwards. It's blue dye number 1. Not good. Then it's sodium phosphate. I don't know what that does. But the next one I do, polyparaben, and then a couple lines next to it is methylparaben. Now, any of you that know about parabens know they're not good. They're estrogen mimicking compounds. This is not something that you want in your body. Parabens. I have a sheet, if you're in my office, that has 5 different things of why parabens are no good. But you can go on the internet and just look up parabens, no good. Then there's Pomoximer 407, which I think means it's a plastic. It's a plastic. Then there's sucralose, which is fake sugar. Again, for a guy like me who's very health conscious, I don't want fake sugar. Then there's phosphoric acid. Now, why would anybody want to rinse with phosphoric acid? Acid's the enemy.
Coca-Cola too, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like a rinse with
Well, that's another, we can get into that. Don't get me distracted because I'll go different direction. Then there's sodium saccharin. That's great. You know, that's in mice, they found that increases their rate. Then there's something, cetylpyridinium chloride. That they say if you can't pronounce it, don't put it in your body, but it's what replaces the alcohol. And if you look that up on the internet, you'll see it has all the same bad qualities as alcohol has it. So we finally get to glycerin, which is probably okay, and water. They're okay. But there's only two things not in this one, which, all right, that brings me to the next point. Thank you for making this go. So I have patients that have dry mouth. Now, why is that not good to have a dry mouth? Because saliva knocks germs off your teeth. So you want your mouth to have saliva going all the time, and if you don't, it's a problem with dental problems. And many people today take so many pills, particularly psychogenic pills, that they get dry mouth. So if you watch the nightly news, they advertise biotin. See, right here, biotin. I need a guy with good glasses. Bob is my guy. So Bob, the first ingredient is water. We'll say that one's okay. Okay, read the second ingredient.
The first one is purified water. The next one is propylene glycol. Isn't that antifreeze?
Yeah.
Propylene glycol?
Propylene glycol. Antifreeze. Now, why would anybody want to use that as a mouthwash? And they sell so much of this. I don't know what it costs for NBT Nightly News to have a 20, 30-second commercial, but it's a lot of money, which means they're selling a lot of this stuff. Okay? Biotin for dry mouth. It's a wetting agent, by the way, that's what it does. It's a wetting agent, that's what it works. So we'll put that one right there. Then you've all heard of Scope, right? All heard of Scope. That's pretty popular. It's by Procter & Gamble. Same thing, alcohol and other stuff. So we'll, so this is my dilemma. I have a theory that if you want to have a clean mouth, I feel you have three things that you should do, especially if you're a female. Females don't like that bad breath, you know, how are you with bad breath? Females don't like that, you know. They're very sensitive to interpersonal relationships. Am I right about this? Men don't care so much, you know, they're slobby. Yeah, yeah. So they don't care, but women really do care. So women use mouthwash a lot more. And I decided I didn't have anything to recommend. I have an electric toothbrush. I like Oral-B or Sonicare. I like people to use dental floss. But I also like them to rinse their mouth out, especially if they have stuff in their mouth like oatmeal that I get in the morning. I like to get that out of there. And I had nothing that I could recommend because I just showed you why all these products are really not that hot. So Dr. Weiner and I got together with a guy from Carnegie Tech, which is now Carnegie Mellon. Carnegie Tech, that's right. Carnegie Mellon, I'm sorry. I should know. I know the president of that organization. And we invented Miracle Mouth Rinse. How to keep your mouth healthy, clean, cavity-free using the new breakthrough formula. So we came up with a new formulation. Now, the toothpaste that I personally like, and everybody's taste buds are different, so some people may not like this, but I like baking soda. Why? Well, most dental problems that you have are related to acid. Where does the acid come from? It comes from germ poop. Germ poop. Once upon a time, I actually brought a microscope in here. Dr. Weiner had me do this. We thought it'd be a good idea, but it's kind of burdensome to bring it all in here. And we looked at the germs. I took somebody like Bob, and I just took some germs out of his mouth, and we looked at him jumping all around. That really scares most people, especially this kind of crowd that's interested in health, looking at live germs jumping around. But I like baking soda because it's neutralized. It's acid inhibiting. It gets rid of, it's alkaline, okay? So germ poop has a lot of properties about it, but one of them is lactic acid. So to make it really simple why you had cavities in your mouth, if you have germs all over your teeth, they produce lactic acid. You've all heard of lactic acid. is from your muscles too. It's a waste product of your muscles, but it's also waste products of germs. Every living organism gives off waste. Can you think of one that doesn't? No, including us. It's sort of funny. My wife, that's the one thing she cannot, that seems ridiculous. Why she has to poop, you know? She's very particular about those things. And a lot of women are that way. I think, again, men, we don't care. We go out in the woods someplace. But, you know, women, you got to have a bathroom that's really private. You know, but germs, they don't care. They just poop all over their teeth and gums. And it's mostly lactic acid which causes the problem. So think about it. If I put lactic acid on this coat, what would happen to your coat? You get a hole in it. So now does everybody understand how cavities form? So we talked about Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has 37 grams of sugar in it. That's a lot of food for germs to make germ poop. And it has lactic acid. So I get these young males generally who like Red Bull and Coke. Why? It has caffeine, gives them energy. But they're soaking their mouths with all this sugar and phosphoric acid. So they come in and they have all these areas along the gum line that are eroding and they're brown and black. And if you really want to see a picture of soda drinking, right on that wall there's a picture that I gave Dr. Weiner of a guy that was a soda drinker, and then I fixed him up. So that's how that works. So if nothing else this afternoon, I think you understand why sugar's bad, because it feeds the germs which make the acid, which make the holes in your teeth. So it's pretty simple. But what was it, Benjamin Franklin said, common sense isn't so common, you know? So even though it's simple. Yes, Bob?
Maybe I always hear the word.
Here,
sugar. Yeah, I always hear the word sugar being used, but things like Coke and all the sugar products, all
Yeah.
the pop products, are now, so they've been sweetened with corn syrup now for the last
Yeah.
decade or whatever, because corn syrup is a lot cheaper than sugar.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, they have all their corn. Have you ever been to Iowa? I mean, Iowa, Kansas, there's so much corn out there, and it's so cheap. And then our government, in its infinite wisdom, says, not only grow the corn, we'll give you subsidies to grow more corn and make it cheaper so that more people will have more sugar.
And all GMO.
And GMO with the Roundup. Don't get me started here with all this stuff, you know. I'm trying to stay on oral health, you know. But yeah, that's a big problem because these, matter of fact, I was in South Africa and I ran into a guy. He said, "What are you doing here from America?" He says, "I'm in the sugar business." And of course, you know, that makes me see red because I'm anti-sugar. I said, "Doesn't it bother you what you're doing to people's health? There are all these obese people that are eating all this corn syrup and all this sugar and stuff. What do I care? I'm making a lot of money. Look at how money I have." That's all he cared about. He cared less. Morally, it didn't mean anything to him. I digress. So, let's see what we have here. Okay. So we invented this product. It's called Miracle Mouthwash. It's all natural. There's not one thing in it, if you read the ingredients, and we have the brochures here that you can look at, that will hurt you. And it's alcohol-free. I told you that's important. Has a nice taste, and it's a nice alternative to some of the synthetic mouthwashes. Now, we talked about alcohol is bad for you because it sort of dries out your mouth and pickles the skin. Now, alcohol does kill germs. It kills everything. I mean, look at an alcoholic. It kills his liver, you know? So I'm not saying that alcohol won't kill germs, and if you have an infection in your mouth that you need temporary relief for a day or two, it probably is fine. But you don't want to pickle your skin. What makes this so good for you? Miracle Mouthwash. Well, the best part, I think, is my name right here. I'm all into me, you know. And Dr. Weiner's the same way. So we both put our name on it. That's the best part of this. But if you look at the ingredients, we'll just go down the ingredients. I know you can't see them, but The first one is deionized water, vegetable glycerin. Well, why is that in there? If you just have oatmeal tomorrow morning, you'll see there's going to be oatmeal in your mouth. And if you just rinse out with water, it won't all come out. But the vegetable glycerin binds to it, and that's what's good about it. It takes little particles out of your mouth. And then sodium bicarbonate, which I told you neutralizes acids in your mouth, lactic acids and other acids that are in your mouth. Then xylitol. Now, xylitol is the alcohol sugar developed in Sweden, which is natural. It's not artificial like sucralose or anything like that. And it's very sweet. It's 5 times sweeter than actual sugar. I actually think we need more xylitol to make it a little sweeter because people like sweet stuff. Gouda Cola. That's one, it's not Coca-Cola, it's Gouda Cola. Has anybody ever heard of Gouda Cola in this room? Oh boy, see, we have a informed audience here. Well, most people don't. But I had a patient, because I didn't know that much about it myself, who told me that there's this Chinese guy that held the Guinness World Book of Records age for 117 or something, some crazy thing. And he swore that the reason he lived so long was he had Gouda Cola as an herb that he took all his life. So that's in there. So what's next? Thyme, everybody knows that's good for you. Echinacea, that's good for you. These are 2 things that get under your tongue, of course. Wintergreen is an essential oil. There's 4 essential oils: wintergreen, cloves, spearmint, and peppermint. Essential oils, what do? They kill viruses, fungus, and germs. Good. But are they dangerous? George Washington used to use cloves on his teeth. Of course, didn't help him because he had no teeth. This is an interesting thing about your teeth. You might not realize it, but you need your teeth to speak. His second inaugural address was the shortest in the history of the United States. Why? Because he had these stupid dentures in. In those days, they didn't know how to do dentistry very well. And they had springs on them. And it was like exhausting for him to say anything. So he could only speak for about 3 sentences, and that was it. It was horrible. And if you look at pictures of him, you'll see his face is all collapsed. Poor George. Okay, so we have peppermint, spearmint, cinnamon, again, another herb, which is good, gets in your body through under your tongue. Cloves. And that's it. That's it. That's what's in it. Everything that's in there is good. So baking soda. The toothpaste that I use is baking soda toothpaste. Having said that, I want you all, is Dr. Weiner around? No. Good. I want you all to encourage him to invent with me our next product. Toothpaste. And he likes Pilu. I don't know that much about it personally, but if it has a little baking soda in it, I'm fine. And we can put some Pilu in it. There's probably other things, and maybe some of you have some thoughts about what you like in it. But whatever we put in it, we're going to make it natural.
Can you put cloves in toothpaste?
Yeah, sure.
Why is there no clove toothpaste?
I don't know.
Can you just use baking soda?
Yes, yes. In the 80s, it was very popular when we showed people the germs in their mouth. Baking soda and salt were 2 things. It's very cheap and it works, but it's sort of like peroxide. People say, is peroxide a good mouthwash? Yeah, it works because it oxygenates. It liberates oxygen. It works, but it tastes horrible. I mean, I could see doing this for 2 or 3 days, but every day works. And it's horrible. It tastes terrible. So, yeah. So hydroperoxide mouth rinse works, but it tastes bad. So forget it. It's not going to work. Dilution. Hydroperoxide, the people that I know just use it out of the bottle. Yeah, 2%. I mean, but it's not for me. No, not for me. It's sort of like this coconut. There's this new thing about this coconut oil. It's not new. It's not new. But again, I don't know if it works. I don't know if it doesn't work. But nobody is going to sit there if you have 20 minutes, 30 minutes to sit there with coconut oil in your mouth, you got to get a life. I mean, that's such a lot of time every day to sit there with coconut oil in your mouth.
Every morning in the shower.
Me too, in the
It's
shower.
so easy.
In the shower.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know that there's any scientific proof that it does much. But I have to say they have a very good YouTube thing. And I think that's why it's so popular.
Coconut oil pulling.
Pulling. But I don't know that it does anything. I mean, I've never heard it.
I'll bring
You don't need it. Save your 20 minutes and just brush with electric toothbrush, dental floss, and mouthwash. That's all you need to do. And that only takes 3 minutes. You can save 27 minutes, you know? All right. Now, I did the original research at the dental school, Pitt Dental School. I've been on the faculty since 1969. I hate to admit it. Before Candace was born, right? See? That's how long I've been in this thing. But this actually reduces bacterial growth because it's not a sugar. It's a sugar alcohol. So the difference is bacteria, which are little tiny things, can metabolize little tiny things like a 5-carbon chain sugar or a 6-carbon chain sugar. But a sugar alcohol means it's a big molecule. It's too big to be metabolized. So it's sweet. It stimulates the saliva in your mouth and gum. So Dr. Weiner sells the gum over here. And so it actually bathes your mouth in saliva, which is good. It knocks off the bacteria. So xylitol gum is the gum you should use, not Wrigley spearmint gum, which has sugar in it. Okay, yes, dear.
Is
Here.
xylitol safe for children? Is xylitol safe for children?
Yeah, xylitol, I feel it is. I mean, who knows, you know, what they say in 2015 and 2025, who knows? But I don't know why it wouldn't be. I mean, it's just a sugar alcohol. Believe it or not, though, if you do a breathalyzer test and you have too much of this, you can almost, the state trooper may say, you've been drinking, haven't you? But it is, you're not going to get very much. Another thing about safety, because Dr. Weiner and I, where is he? He's not here, right? Good. You can't make blanket statements like fluoride is poison in that. That's like saying salt is poison. Is salt poison? Yes. Is salt not poison? Yes. It's about the amount. It's about the amount. So if it's a teeny weeny little bit, it's probably not poison. But if it's a large amount, it is. So I think the example was salt. And so same thing with xylitol. It depends how much you're giving someone. And also drugs. You know, this is another thing that sort of irks me about pharmaceutical companies. You know, they say, well, you need 1,500 milligrams a day of this drug, let's say. But everybody's different. This little lady right here is not going to get what her aunt's going to get, is she? You give her a 1,500, it'll knock her out. Wouldn't do anything to her, you know? So dosage has a lot to do with it. Vegetable glycerin, we talked about how it's a cleaner and it's been around for a long time, very safe. Cinnamon, antibacterial, antifungus, cold remedy. This is the thing that every time you go into a dental office, you smell cloves, you know, because we use it every day. We use it in cements. We use it to sedate teeth, but it actually kills germs very nicely. Cloves. It's an essential oil in our mouthwash, but in dentistry, we use it all the time to fight tooth decay, pain, and germs.
Does it also help with bad breath?
Yeah. It smells good, yeah. I like it, but sometimes I'll walk in the office and someone will say, you smell like a dentist, you know. Peppermint, I don't think anybody has any problem with that. My mother grew it, and my wife grows it, actually, and I just pick the leaves and eat it. It's been around for thousands of years. See, I also have another theory. I have all these theories. If anything's been around for 10,000 years, your body probably has gotten used to it over the evolutionary period, and probably pretty good for you. And peppermint's been around for forever and used forever. Spearmint's another one. Wintergreen's another one. Echinacea, when we formulated this, I said, what are we putting echinacea in there? But it's very good for you. And when you're rinsing your mouth, now I think, boy, I'm getting all these herbs under my tongue into my body. So that's sort of good. But echinacea, they say it even fights colds. But it's a powerful antioxidant. Glucola, we talked about that one time. A clean mouth is a healthy mouth. And there we are. And we have some brochures we can give you. I want to show you my most beautiful patient. This is Miss Pennsylvania. And I just want to show you a couple things we do in our office. In this case, we whitened her teeth. Now, a lot of you are not going to apply for the Miss Pennsylvania contest, but you'd like to have whiter teeth. So I'd like to tell you that we can do that today by using a very strong light with hydrogen peroxide or carbamide peroxide that we apply to the teeth. Now, she came in second, and then we whitened her teeth, and next year she won. And you can see what a beautiful smile she has. So this is a picture. I'm not doing this the way I wanted, but you get the idea. How important teeth are for your existence. I was in Singapore, and I went to the zoo. And when the trainer of this orangutan, I think it was, wanted to show the audience how healthy the orangutan was, what did he do? He opened his mouth and he showed you his teeth. Why? Because if your mouth is healthy, you can assume that the rest of your body's healthy. So we can tell, as dentists, I can look in your mouth and see if your gums are bleeding, for example. Now, 50%, half this audience probably has some type of periodontal disease. It's the most prevalent chronic, not acute, because it doesn't hurt that much, chronic disease in America. Yes, sir?
If I may say, they do that with horses too. They're
Yeah,
rolling them out.
yeah. Well, from that, horse, pig, cow, dog, cat, when they lose their teeth, what happens to them shortly thereafter? They die. Am I right? We are mammals, just like they are, correct? So if you lose your teeth, you are not going to be able to eat well. People say, I have all these horrible teeth, I'll just get them all out. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. I mean, that's like saying I have bad toes, I'll chop them all off. I mean, I don't know what people, they just want the cheapest, easiest solution in their head, but in reality, it's more problems, many more problems. Prevention is the cure for this problem.
Mercury amalgam fillings.
Sure. Matter of fact, I have some slides there, but it's too hard to get to them the way they changed it. So let's talk about mercury amalgam fillings. I'm standing in front of you telling you that I have not placed one since 1969. There is not one dentist, because I'm old, in Pittsburgh. Absolutely. Am I taking new patients? She's a new patient, about 10 days. And why?
And it's
Again.
the most beautiful office you've ever been in your life.
Thank
And
you.
that's, people
Wait a second.
I'm going to give a testimonial. I don't like going to the dentist. Most people don't like going to the dentist. And the surroundings are important to me, that you're making me comfortable and that you care about your surroundings. And this is a beautiful office.
Thank you.
And nice people.
Yeah, we try. We try real hard. So anyway, back to mercury. So I haven't done one since '69. Why? Because common sense isn't so common. In the United States, the EPA, if you take old mercury fillings and drive them to New Jersey, like was done about 20 years ago, and then you get all the fillings from all the dentists and you make money by collecting them, like this guy Roy Ott did. He was a dental supply guy. And you take them to New Jersey and you give them to this company, and then they sort of bury them in the dirt there in New Jersey. Then the EPA will come after you and say, we know you did this for a couple of years, and we are going to fine you $300,000. And Roy Ott's this blue-collar guy. He has like this little truck and not much money. He says, what, are you kidding? I don't have $300,000. Well, we're going to sue. So he went to Arlen Specter, our senator, and Arlen fought for him, and he only had to pay something like $80,000 fine, which Roy Ott went out of business after that, because he didn't have 80. I guess he had 80, but that was it. So the point of this story is that if you put it in dirt, old mercury fillings taken from people's teeth, and the EPA says you cannot put all that mercury in New Jersey's dirt, why would you want it about 4 inches from your brain? Everybody knows that mercury is a toxic metal. There are other things you can put in your head other than mercury, which is 50% of an amalgam filling. The other part, 35% is silver. Problem with silver is it tarnishes. So it corrodes, tarnishes. What do germs like? They don't like enamel, which is very smooth. They can't stick to that. They don't like gold. That's what I have. They don't like ceramic, which I just did for her.
Can I say something else about mercury? Mercury off gases into your mouth with 10 degrees temperature change. So if you drink cold water, it's off gassing. If you drink hot tea or coffee, it off gases. And mercury is the only element in nature that is a solid, a liquid, and a gas. So you're breathing the mercury vapor when you get hot or cold liquids. The world authority on mercury is a guy named Boyd Haley. Boyd Haley's at the University of Kentucky. He took a tooth that had a mercury filling in it, and he did a picture of it, a microscopic picture.
Yeah, and there was
And
vapors.
He could still see vapors
Yeah.
coming out of that tooth of where the mercury filling had been extracted 40 years prior. There were still mercury vapors visible in that tooth in a film. And I'll say one more thing and then I'll shut up. If you have to have mercury fillings and you want them taken out, it's really, 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 really important that you go to somebody who knows how to do it.
Yeah, I just took some out this week, and we put a rubber dam over the tooth so that we can suck it out, and get all that stuff out of your mouth. So, but it's a problem. Yeah, there. Yeah, there.
If a
Right,
person-
right. There.
If a person has a implant,
Yeah, right there.
what should they get rid of that or
No,
it's been about
the implant is not mercury. Yeah, you're in luck. Implants are made out of titanium. Titanium is another metal, totally different. It's a wonderful metal as far as the body's concerned. The body loves titanium. I don't know why, but the body does not reject titanium. That's why everybody has titanium knees, they have titanium elbows, they have titanium shoulders and pins. Ben Roethlisberger has a titanium finger, For some reason, the body loves titanium. And it's all about energy coming from the metal, actually, I think. Yeah. By the way, mercury, there's a table called the periodic table. So if you look where mercury is, the next element right next to it, plutonium. Thank you. Is that unbelievable? Yeah,
It's
go
the
ahead.
second most toxic metal.
Yeah,
next
it's
to
very
plutonium.
toxic.
Periodontal problems.
Okay, periodontal problems. Again, germs are the enemy. And 50% of you in this room, on average, are walking around with some kind of gum problem, unless you have no teeth. But I can look around the room and tell everybody that's got teeth in this room, at least most of them, right? Yeah. So that's why this is great being a dentist. I can speak to anybody and they're interested because everybody's got teeth and gums, So that part's good. But so there's this expression, cleanliness is next to godliness. You got to keep your mouth clean. So 2 things. You should go to the dentist so we can see what's going on because you can't see inside your mouth. You want to get all the tartar off your teeth. You cannot do that yourself. Even I, who am very meticulous, I look in the mirror and I see behind my lower front teeth, I get tartar. I have to get my own teeth cleaned, and I'm very good about cleaning my teeth, I think. But it just develops. Calcium carbonate just develops behind your teeth. It has to do with the saliva and your body chemistry, and depends on what you eat and a bunch of things. But you need a hygienist to do that. We have 4 very nice ones, and they would be happy to, if you have some tartar, to remove it. So that's one thing that can really help. Electric toothbrush, dental flossing, and mouth rinse is what you want to do to get rid of this. But I want to say, let's talk about cancer, because Dr. Weiner had a patient he introduced me to who had a cancer problem. Most diseases like that are related to your immune system. Why does someone get cancer and another one doesn't get cancer? And every once in a while, someone gets cancer and gets better. It's your immune system. So the load that you put on your immune system has a lot to do with how healthy or not healthy you are. So if you're not I have patients, they come in, I had a lady, an 85-year-old the other day, I don't know what I'm gonna do with her. I take an x-ray of her entire mouth, it's called Panorex, and I see 3 teeth broken off of the gum line, and below in the bone, these dark areas at the end of the roots, there's a chronic infection there. She's walking around with a chronic infection. Of course, she has no energy. Why does she have no energy? Because her body is working overtime to try to have this homeostasis situation because she has all this infection in her mouth. And of course, the body, if you ever cut your lip, you know it really bleeds, doesn't it? Or your tongue really bleeds. Why? Well, nature's so clever that it puts a lot of blood in an area where there's a lot of germs, because that's where it needs to have white blood cells to kill all these germs, you see? So if you're constantly fighting a gum infection, and if you come to my office, I'll actually show you the germs on your teeth under a microscope, that means your body is working overtime to try to kill all this stuff. So you want your mouth to be extremely clean. There's a relationship between heart disease and various risk factors. So everybody knows smoking is a risk factor. Everybody knows that high blood pressure is a risk factor. But not until the last 10 years or so that a lot of people catch on that another risk factor is inflammation. Maybe the most important one is inflammation. And where is there inflammation? In your gut, starting at your rear end, going all the way to your mouth. I'm going in reverse order, but you can go the other way too. But in your mouth, there's a lot of inflammation if you're not careful. And you cannot tell because you can't see in your mouth, and you're not Superman, you don't have x-ray vision. You can't tell what's going on. You need somebody to actually look in there that you can trust that will tell you, is there something going on in my mouth? And if there is, you got to get it cleared up. And that brings me to another topic, is let's say you have an infected tooth. The nerve has died and the bone has an abscess at the end of it. Should you get a root canal, or you should get it taken out? And if you get it taken out, what are you going to do? Because now there's a space, and all of you, I'm looking around this room, the middle-aged people and older, you've lost teeth. I'm sure you've lost teeth. What do you do when you're losing a tooth? Do you do nothing, which sometimes is what you do? Or do you replace it? How do you replace it? Well, you can do an implant, titanium, like I mentioned. Right? I guess you
I
have.
use the wrong term, I have a root canal.
Oh, root canal. Well, that's a big issue with a lot of people, especially that come to the Warner Wellness Center. How safe is it to have a root canal? And the answer is, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's like when I talked to you before about dosage. It depends who did the root. It's like Jascha Heifetz was asked, what's the best violin? And he said, tell me who's playing it. You know? So it depends who does the root canal. If it's done poorly, it's going to leak and it's going to be still infected, and the germs, they're called anaerobic bacteria, are going to be down in your jawbone. Not good. So it has to be done really well. And if it's not done really well, it's probably better not to do it. And it's a big, difficult decision. So the bottom line is, don't need a root canal. Prevention is the cure. Make sure you take care of your teeth so they don't get bad and need root canals. You know, if you wait till something hurts, it's too late. That means the nerve is dying, probably, and you're... I don't want to talk nothing around here because I'm a politician, you know. I'll talk about it first briefly. A tiny, tiny bit, I feel, is okay for kids. When you're an adult, like all of us here, I don't see any kids, you don't need it. Your teeth are hard. They're not. But people of our generation that did not have it, well, not her, because she doesn't have it. I'm older than she is. Yes, I am. I'm 72 and a half. See? But I don't look it, right? We didn't have fluoride in the water where I grew up, and my teeth are full of holes that have to be replaced with gold, by the way, which is the best, I told you. And my grandkids who are in Fox Chapel have no fillings. So there's got to be something to that, but it has to be a very small amount. Now, Dr. Weiner does not agree with this at all because he says it's in rat poison, which it is. But I'm telling you, if it's a tiny, tiny bit, or topical, not swallowing it, just putting it on the teeth, I think it's good. But I'm going to get disagreement from most of the people in this organization about that. Yes, sir.
They put it in the water at Shaler Township.
They put it in the water 90% of the places in the United States
Except
today.
in France.
Well, if you go,
Ban.
yeah, but I have to say, there's some beautiful women walking around Europe, and they have brown holes in their teeth, and it drives me crazy, you know. So, yes, there. Here, wait.
Oh, excuse me, I had to run out because I had to get a test, but did you address implants and bridges?
No, I will very briefly. What time is it? Does anybody have the time? 'Cause Dr. Weiner always says, give them time to buy stuff.
It's almost 2 o'clock.
All right, we're going to go quickly. Bridges and implants, she wants to know about. That's my specialty, by the way, I might add. Implants are wonderful. It's a way you can replace a tooth that's been extracted. It's titanium, and then we put a crown on top of it. But sometimes, if you're missing a tooth and you have 2 teeth on either side, just like going over the Ohio River, you need an abutment on one side of the bank and the other side. You use those 2 teeth. Support it. But today, it used to be bridges in the old days, but today we like to do implants. The only reason we don't do more, it's about $2,000 to put the implant in, and then it's another $1,000 to put a crown. $3,000 for one tooth. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. So a lot of people can't afford them. A lot of people can't afford them. Well, the implants themselves cost $500 just to buy them. And, you know, they only cost about $10 to make, probably, but that's what they charge the dentist. So, and you just don't get anybody putting this in. You got to get a guy that's been trained a lot and do a lot. So, yes, you have to wait 4 to 6 months for the implant to osteointegrate. That means the bone has to grow around the metal. And once that happens, then you can put a crown on. They're fabulous. I've done one for my sister. I've done one for my sister-in-law. I've done one for my nephew. They're fabulous. People don't even know they're there. I mean, if I showed you some of my patients, you wouldn't even know what I'm talking about. You can't tell. Okay? All right, we're almost done.
The part that they put in before they put
Yeah.
the part that they put in before they put that stem in, that they screw something in
Yeah.
or they push it down in.
Yeah.
What is that made of?
All right, there's 3 things to an implant to replace the tooth that's missing. First, you put the implant. That's titanium. That goes in your jaw bone. It's sort of like, then there's a abutment. It's like a light socket that gets screwed in 6 months later. Then over that is the white part, and that's the crown. That's how it's done. It's 3 parts. Takes about 6 months to do. It's complicated, but it's fabulous. It really is. It's a wonderful service. And a lot of times in the past where we would try to do a root canal and we try to save a tooth that maybe would work and maybe not work, we say today, forget it. Why? It's going to fail in 2 years. Let's just go to the implant. But you got to have the money. That's the other issue about it. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you had a good time. I know I did.